The Lost Cryptids Conservatory, where we will shatter your reality to bring you closer to the truth.
All right, guys, welcome back to another late night show. Nice Saturday night. Get ready for clock springing back forward. So we'll probably have a little time loop we'll get to on tonight's show. But we're going to talk about a few things. We're actually going to show a few tree structures and tree manipulation, and kind of talk about that. Hopefully get some people to come in and give their opinions and get a discussion going on. So, tree structures and, it's just tree manipulation of the environment. And so we're going to show a few examples of that and, probably show a few other examples of evidence and stuff we got. So we got to load the last little clip that I was working on right before the show. And being out there and investigating, a lot of researchers and people have come across these manipulations, these markers and stuff. And give me a second. I gotta. Okay. All right. There we go. They find these things, and in correlation with Bigfoot activity areas, and what we assume and what we theorize is, their markers and our signs and stuff that are readable to other Sasquatch, and have meaning of some sort, or even creating camouflage, shelters and stuff. They don't really provide any sort of shelter, but maybe the lines break loose their silhouettes, and they are used for hunting of some sorts. That's just speculation, of course, but the basic Y structures or TP structures, A structures, and woven in between structures. Stuff that is not nature, stuff that is stuff that is very odd, very weird, and very abnormal. You really want to, when you're looking at tree structures and manipulation, you really want to look at the details and try to figure out if it's Mother Nature causing this, natural causes, or if it's Sasquatch stuff, or whatever type of manipulation out there. Something is manipulating the environment, and we know that natural normal animals in North America are definitely do not do that. So even if it wasn't Bigfoot causing that, it's something not in the natural known kingdom that we officially know and accept. So, and by this, you would look at these different things by finding, seeing if possibly the tree branches, came from any of the trees in the area, if it's the same tree species that's interwoven with another tree species. Um, Also, if there's stuff in a place where there's no apparent root ball or root system or stump where this apparent log or tree or stick came from, or even broken off at the top of the trees to indicate it fell into place. And I'm going to get, I got to make sure I get this other one on here. Um, and some of it's, uh, for hunting purposes, for blocking a deer or navigating through a passage or a maze or a trap, even, even a couple of placed logs and debris and stuff. If a deer has to jump through all that, there's a chance it might break its leg and stuff, but obviously slow it down potentially enough for a Sasquatch to catch up and ambush and stuff. Because the reality is they are out there, and if they are manipulating the environment and stuff, then they're doing it for their benefit. And I don't think it would be all for, talking and signposts and stuff. I think it'd be for, hunting purposes and maybe communication stuff, but it's, territory markers and stuff. I don't think it's more like expresses a whole paragraph or sentence and stuff, maybe, but so uh, and you really have to look at the details to determine, if it's, nature or if it's one in, it could be a 1 in a million shot with Mother Nature. It could always be Mother Nature, even though it's so fantastic and stuff. There could be always a super slight chance, a 1 in a million shot that whatever happened fell into place and stuff. But how many of those can you find? Because obviously people are finding manipulation all the time, and so it becomes a question of, in fact, is it true manipulation or is these 1 in a million shots? But if you keep finding this stuff, or if you have activity in the area also and stuff and other things to add to it, then it might lean credence. But if you spend hours and hours and hours out there looking at everything that fell, everything that's leaning, and everything that's potentially looks like tree structures, you will spend probably weeks and months and stuff looking at all of it, and you might find some odd ones, and I would guarantee you that mostly 99% of all of them are natural occurrences and stuff, and people can get chalked up and just fantasize about them being tree structures without obviously knowing or understanding, the basic concepts of trees, storm damage, and how trees and stuff operate. Having experience, in the arborist industry and seeing storm damage and what it does to homes and how it falls and some of the weird things that I've actually seen. A lot of it is storm damage, of course. A lot of it is snow impact and ice and everything breaking from the snow load and falling into place. And it changes and stuff, of course, with each heavy rain and wind and severe thunderstorms, of course. So even tornadoes and stuff, will hurl and chunk and throw things, and so you could have even huge objects placed potentially into trees, and it could be natural occurrences, but again, there is circumstances where I would say it leans more towards Sasquatch and stuff. So you always have to be on the lookout and stuff, and you really don't want to. You really want to have integrity about yourself when you're really analyzing this, because it's really easy for me to go out there and just give you a whole spiel and give you a whole bunch of shots of nothing, of just nature, of fake crap, and then present it as real stuff. And even if it was someone else who it doesn't have a channel and stuff, I think a lot of people would accept that it is, would be stuff, because they would take their word on it, and it would look pretty cool probably too. But when you investigate it, you would find that everything falls into place like dominoes. Everything is standing up. You can read the environment, like how this used to be a standing tree, a healthy tree, and everything fell into place, and that caused that tree to smash into that tree, which caused this topper portion of the tree to fall and flip into place and then land right there on top of other things. And then so what I'm saying is, you got to really be honest and stuff, and you really have to know to try to read it and stuff. And what I look for is two different species of trees intermixed, especially if there's one species of the tree that is not found in the general area. I found some maples and stuff woven into a tree structure with a pine tree branch with needles and stuff in there, and there's no pine trees, for over 200 plus yards away in all directions. So, and that was a pretty good indicator, along with other activity and stuff I was encountering and stuff too, wood knocks and stuff too, in the same area along the same week and stuff. So, other things is if you find standing trees that should be standing, even if they're like that thickness or smaller or bigger, and there's a root ball attached to it, but there's no place where there's the hole where the root ball is. If the root ball is still attached to the tree, there should be a hole where that came from. If there's no hole in the general vicinity, where that come from? That must have been placed there. If you find the same kind of a tree trunk, okay, but it's broken off at the trunk, at the stump, with no root ball, but it again is placed into an area where there's no stump to it. Where's the stump to this tree or this branch or this limb? Even if it's this size or however big, there should be a stump or a root system there that should add up to it. It should fall into place. It should lay into place. So if there's no stump, where'd it come from? It had to be put into place. That's manipulation. Those are really good indicators, because that shows that it's put into a place where you can't find where it came from. And if you can't find it within, 20 yards or 10 yards circle, easily, it's easily more than enough to say, okay, that's definitely put into place. And you definitely have to look up above too to make sure they break off of a tree and fall into place. So those are the really heavy hitters, because it shows that it's totally out of place, and you should be able to find those indicators to show that it was a naturally falling occurrence. If you have a stump or a tree root and stuff, and it's leaning and stuff, but you have the big hole right there. Well, it could have fell and eroded, and the dirt came, and it could have fell into place. You want to look and make sure. Or if it's picked up and flipped upside down, and now the root ball is facing upward and stuff, where it should definitely be facing downward. And if this tree would have fell, there's no way that this root ball system would have been in the air. Obviously, that's an indicator, manipulation and stuff. And especially the bigger ones, the bigger the tree with the bigger the root ball, it's in the air, where it physically can't happen naturally. This is a good indicator, and especially when it can't be humanly possibly done. I like to think like I'm a pretty strong guy, And if people would try to manipulate and fake tree structures, the bigger the tree structure and the manipulation, the evidence that you're thinking of, and you're trying to find the details and see if it's real or not. The bigger the structure, the bigger the piece of tree, the wood, or whatever, the harder it is for people to do it and to make these things. So I really don't think a lot of people are faking them. I think what happens is a lot of people build these survival structures and primitive huts, which are pretty basic, universal designs, and there's a number of designs. And people take pictures of that and say Bigfoot, but it's clearly a man-made structure. I would definitely lean towards person. So, because you have to be detailed, and you really have to, if you really want to be thorough about it. Not everything out there is going to be Sasquatch, especially tree structures and tree manipulation. Every little thing that's on the ground and stuff. So, and when you talk about glyphs, as people talk about as smaller twigs or sticks lined up into patterns and stuff, especially if you have interaction and stuff with a Sasquatch and stuff, then that gets into a whole different possibly ball game. But you still need to verify and stuff that it's real, and by you going back out there and repeating the process and having a documentation of the process. And if you find a tree structure and stuff, especially a fresh one, you think a very fresh one, if you can keep going back as much as you can and keep documenting it, see if stuff gets added or if it's changed in a way that seems to point to true manipulation, then you have something, and not nature. So, Flat Rock says, I personally don't see tree structures as evidence, only a sign. True tree structures it's evidence of manipulation of by something, whether it's Bigfoot or not. We assume it's Bigfoot, but even if it's not, it's still something that's manipulating the environment that's abnormal to normal animals that we officially would understand. Bears aren't doing that. Raccoons are not doing that. Deer are not doing that. Something that's not human and that's not officially recognized is out there doing that if it's not nature, so it's evidence of something, but it's evidence that we just don't understand yet. We can't read, we don't fully understand, so we can document it. We can document it with pictures and video, and people can speculate and theorize and stuff, but if it's actual really happening, which I think it is, because I've experienced and we found some stuff, and some of the evidence we're going to show you guys today is what I think is real. It's something, so the more documentation that we have, eventually, maybe we will film or people will witness more Bigfoot or whatever creature is out there causing this manipulation. And I would think it's Sasquatch, because they're out there 24/7. They, what are they doing all day? They're hunting and stuff. But if they have enough food and they're not starving and they don't have to worry about it, they have a lot of time on their hands. Especially if they're sitting down and watching the woods, which like hunters do. They sit down, they watch, and they wait for the opportunity. Kids and youngsters and stuff, they're going to want to play and stuff. So manipulating the environment for hunting and for trail signs or for whatever unknown purposes, they're out there all the time. They probably have a lot of time on their hands to do these sort of things, and if they are, for what reason? It's a grand question. We just don't know. There's so many questions that we just don't know. So this documentation of just everything odd, abnormal, non-nature that we encounter out there. We need to document, because eventually we can put it into categories of whatever it may be, whether it's a Bigfoot or, a dog man, or, the little people doing it, or the orbs, or whatever. Eventually, if there's enough evidence and there's, actually being accepted and actually officially being stuff, all this documentation will eventually help lead to more actually official scientific answers, because it's evidence that will be looked at and hopefully taken seriously and stuff. Of course, it will have to, because who is researching Bigfoot but us? The scientists are. What are they going to do? Start at ground zero and go through 50 years of what we've already gone through to try to find Bigfoot and do all this and take it seriously and come up with these answers and hypotheses to only get to where we are in the next 50 years? So they would have to take some of our work seriously. And so we need to document all the evidence. So let's get into it. Let's start some stuff. I'm going to be talking through this, and so let's see how this works. Okay, so we got right here, this is right on a trail edge, and we see this is bent over. And I think this happened when it was freshly grown and stuff, but this is bent over and stuff and was held into place right there. And what it was unique about this spot is we had a lot of activity right here. And I would say about 5 minutes before this is where I had seen the orb in the woods. And, seeing is believing. And I've told that story many times. But, the unique thing about that is it's right on a trail edge. We're going to restart that real quick for that one. But you see how it's wrapped around and put into place with another one right there. And this was an area where we actually had about 20 minutes before this, 30 minutes before this, we actually got the whistles and stuff. That's the one where we play it here on a few times. We had whistles and rock clacks, and the Carla kid, James, right there in the background. He can verify this and stuff. So again, we suspect this is, some manipulation. It's very odd. It's very, eye-catching and stuff, and it's not natural. That piece of dead wood didn't fall there, didn't come from there. Now this one is very unique. Now this one is wrapped over and under. Each of them is over and under the other one, and is just held into place right there on those 4 base points. So this one is very unique, and it didn't fall into place or anything like that. This is just something that was just placed there, and it goes over and under the other. It's held there too, so it's pretty unique how it's wedged in there like that. And then again, that was something that caught our eye. So this was a teepee structure that we had actually found, and the unique thing about this one was there was mini ones next to it. There was mini teepee structures next to the big one, and so again, it was very odd. We can only speculate that maybe it was a little one mimicking the big one of some sort, or of whatever reason, but it definitely unique. And it was tall, it was about 10 to, I would say 10, 11 feet tall, where the arch is. And there were several smaller ones around the big one. And so, it's very odd. And these ones were manipulation. The bases and stuff were not. So some of them, the bases were broke off and put into place, but one of them, the base was not around and was put into place from another area. the little ones and stuff were stacked very oddly and stuff. So it's very unique when you're out there and you find these things, and and you go through and you look and, really try to debunk and say, how did the nature do this? So, and we come to the speculation and the conclusion that it's some sort of manipulation. We suspect Sasquatch, but it's definitely some sort of manipulation. Pyromedic. Were you pointing out that they were a very wide open area, like a Tall Man Trail there? No, that I think that was. See, this is what happens. We don't know. That was next to like a ATV trail and stuff. So way back, way in the woods. Now, off that, in that section of woods, that was a kind of a corner, but in that section is where we went into heavily, huge, amazing portion, and had rock clacks and whistle. I'll play it right now. I think I have it on here still. And let me see. Then on the way back, after that, we had split up. James took our buddy Gabe and went down the path, and they heard more whistling and stuff, I think, for sure. And I went up and didn't hear nothing. I was, we're just trying to see whatever would happen. I'm trying to do two things at once. And on the way back, we met up together. We walked back, and I had turned and seen the orb, which was about, like, I would say about this big, dull white, foggy white, a foggy white light in the tree line behind me in a thicket. And then I did a double take, and it was gone. And then we had walked up to the main trail, walked along it, and found that, and investigated that. And when there was another in the background, if you've seen it, there was another kind of leaner and stuff, and we were walking all through the area looking at that. And then we found the interwoven. But yeah, it was very interesting. Maybe we don't have it on here. I can only hold so many videos and on here, so nope. But I can probably get it up here real quick, actually. But so yeah. We played this on here before, and this is a response that we've got 2 years ago. 2 years ago, last in July, up north. I don't know. It might be on one of the hard drives then, because it's older evidence, so I think it's on the hard drive. So I guess I won't be playing that one tonight, but that's okay if we've played it before. It's it's on the channel and stuff, one of the audios we have. But anyways, let's get back into the main focus of this discussion. Let me put this in the chat. This is the link to come on for the open mic show. We're going to talk a little bit about tree structures or whatever else is brought up. But in the meantime, we're going to show a little bit more of this manipulation tree structures that we keep finding out there, and some tracks and stuff actually that I found. And this is older stuff from last year. That is stuff that I did when I was out soloing. Okay, show that one. Okay, so this one's going to be a perfect example of human manipulation. This is a survival shelter that someone made that I had actually came across, and it's pretty awesome actually. So I do not think this is Bigfoot at all. I think this is 100% a person. This is actually right off a trail, and it's pretty cool and stuff. And you can see that the vines and wrappings and stuff. It's really well done and stuff. It's not that big. It's a one person little sit down shelter. You don't. If I found this in the middle of nowhere, and had no like human activity around, and I couldn't find any trash, maybe, and there was more indication of Bigfoot in the area, Bigfoot activity happening, maybe a track right next to it, or I would consider it, could be, but in this situation, it's 100% human. It would have to be outstanding circumstances, evidence to point that would lead me to believe this would be a Bigfoot related structure. Because it's a basic human survival hut design, teepee structure. It has the coil wraps and stuff. It's right next to people and stuff. So this one is showing interwoven sticks that are leaning up against the one standing tree limb. It's a very small tree. But they're all held into place because they're interwoven. And that's the only way that they're all standing up. And they're all standing up by these just the one pole, and they're all interwoven and distributing the weight that they're holding to be standing. And so this one is very unique. It's actually, if you can see this triangle shaped thing. Okay, so what it is, it's a full circle enclosed inside of a branch that's going through it. Okay, so it's all the way enclosed inside this branch and part of that tree. It's locked into place. Those did not fall into there like that. And so this one was pretty unique. There was other stuff around there, but since it was nighttime, it wasn't easy to see. And this was in an area with a Bigfoot activity. But I thought that piece was pretty unique and stuff. And the one before too. So when you're coming across this, you have to really just try to investigate it, and if it's really odd and really abnormal, and it doesn't seem like it's nature related, you got to consider it to be something. And it's not bears, it's not raccoons, it's not a squirrel, it's not a deer, it's not a possum. It's otters, beavers. I mean, what is it? If it's not Bigfoot, it must be something else. And it's not something we know. So yeah, this is some of the stuff that we try to look for and see. And so let's try to look at this tracking stuff. This is more of an impression and stuff. This one's going to be pretty hard to see any details compared to the other one, but you can see this impression right here. Where it's stepped on and stuff, and it's pretty good and stuff. And this was on a little bit of it was it didn't give any detail, but it sunk in enough to give an impression. And unfortunately, a lot of the leaf litter does this. You're not going to find, unless it's really wet and muddy and perfect, you're not really going to find much details. But I ended up measuring it out, and it was about 5 inches wide, which is pretty good thickness and stuff compared to human boot size and stuff. We have pretty narrow heels and stuff, and I can't remember the length of it right now, but I should be able to see it. Again, and I try to track this and stuff, and you can see it, another impression and stuff, but the details, were not there. And then, it would get lost in other smaller impression holes, other animal tracks and stuff. And it's not easy to able to track to see, well, what direction is this creature going from this point? And again, because, they're not always standing up, walking on two legs, they're getting on all fours. They're going to crouch down and walk on all fours and distribute their weight and walk on their knuckles and walk, like apes and stuff, great apes, walk on their knuckles and stuff, or their hands and stuff, and then get up. So their tracks and stuff, especially with, the flexible feet, you're going to have like half a foot pad impression and stuff. If it flexes at that point, you're going to have some knuckle prints and stuff, and it's not going to look pretty abnormal and stuff. It might look like a normal animal to most people. They might say, oh yeah, it's just deer, that's some hog or something else. Some hooves and stuff that look like they're just stepped on one another and stuff, because there's taking a look at the chat. So if you guys got questions, links in the chat, come on. Don't be scared. We can talk about tree structures, manipulation, or if you guys, had an encounter or something else. Anything's kind of on the table, open to discussion. We give our honest opinions about things, whether that causes a stir or not. I mean, it's just our honest opinion. And all right, so let's go to the next one. So we got more tree structures. And so this one I found very interesting because of everything stacked on one on to each other, almost like a roof. And this is not a survival shelter of any kind. It was no indication of human activity in that particular area. No trash, no nothing. This was pretty off trail. It's not nature related because they're all stacked in a row pretty evenly. And you can see right there is a root ball right here. What I was talking about is where you have, this would be a standing tree, and this would be a root ball that should be in the ground. There should be a hole right next to this area. So how would have, if that's in the ground, how would that get placed up there? That can't not fall into place like that. So, and so, that's obviously manipulation of some sort. And this never turned into anything. In fact, this actually ended up breaking down, and there was no further manipulation of this. So, but that piece right there is very interesting. So here we got James, the colored kid.
I am here.
He is here.
I
How
made
you
it.
doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right.
Doing all right.
I was watching a little bit of the stream and saw you talking about structures.
Yep. That's kind of the main focus a little bit we'll be diving into.
Yeah, I pulled up a few of my old videos that were all structures. So
Awesome.
if you need more, I got more.
Yeah. I chopped up some old stuff and was able to make them small enough to fit on here because my computer, I think I have to be closer to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's
I
probably
believe.
it.
Or it's just my
Unless you have like an
electric
Ethernet
computer,
cable or
because
something.
sometimes I've got radio jammed and blocked and things that don't add up. But if I could share through a file system, then you guys can see more complete stuff. But I chopped up stuff so you guys could see it on here, and we try. So, but yes, definitely show what you got. Let's go over this a little bit more. This doesn't have sound. We can always talk over it and go through it. I did already show some stuff where you were in the background.
Yeah, I saw that.
You remember that one and stuff? You remember finding the structures in there? What's your
Which one?
what's your opinion on these structures, and what do you look for, I guess, or when you're out there and stuff, because you look at stuff and you try to let people know and stuff, and it actually has you've turned out to be correct on some stuff, I would assume, when we looked at it. So let people know what you think of tree structures and what do you look for.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure if Bigfoot makes them, but they are interesting for what you find out there, considering in most like wooden areas most people don't go, there's just weird structures everywhere. Especially some that make you question who did this, because some of them are just huge pieces of wood combined together, or some of them are like 8 feet up in the air and you're like, how did that get up there? How did that twist into that? How did that, But usually if you find something that's just like a little bit off the trail, it's more than likely made by a person. But if it's like way deep in the forest, you might want to question a little bit.
Yeah, and there's telltale signs of humans doing it. Usually,
yeah, I got a few from mine because I used to go to state parks and stuff, and I always find the teepee structures that people make.
yeah,
so I got
there's a certain
pictures.
way for survival structures and a certain template that even kids when they build forts and stuff, there's kind of certain styles and stuff they do. And adults who practice survival shelters, there's maybe a dozen or maybe a couple, 2 dozen maybe shelters of different designs or whatever kind of things you want to do, but they're all pretty similar and they're all human design. The teepee structure that we shown was out in the middle of the woods, very basic. There's no shelter to it. There's just this manipulation, this tree structure. There's no shelters, and anything that we've come across that would indicate they're using them to keep out of the elements. Nothing of the sort. So let's take a look at that. How's everyone in the chat doing? I see we got some pretty good names. Central Florida Bigfoot, of course. We got Flat Rock, Power Medic, Charles.
Oh yeah, a little off topic.
Huckleberry.
A little off topic.
Of course. Blackbeard. Blackbeard, he got some interesting photos that he's shown me that, pretty interesting.
A little off topic.
Weird,
I looked into that Tristan Yolton guy.
Yeah.
And yeah. I don't know. I watched a few of the podcasts, like just went through them a little bit. I didn't watch full, but like I looked at some of his evidence. It's a little interesting.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know if you have.
Yeah,
like just audio and like some of the like he has scat. Like what the heck? He literally touched it and put it in the freezer.
Well, yeah. I mean, what do you think? What happened? Would we find scat? You put it in the bag. You had to pick it up, put it in the bag.
But you don't know 100% that it was a Bigfoot. It just grows.
Well, no, of course not. You've seen me. I picked up scat, sniffed it, looked at it, analyzed it. Pretty hands on, without gloves and stuff. And it's what you do. You're analyzing what it is eating and stuff. How fresh it is. What it smells like and stuff. Indicate different things. The subject of poop that I investigated was beaver, and it was very green and very luscious,
Gamey.
aquatic, fibrous, and smelling. So yeah, if you actually came across scat that was huge and massive and just abnormal in our area in Michigan and stuff, especially in the area where there's no black bear, or maybe in other states where there's no black bear and no big game animals like that. Yeah, you definitely should take that, because it could be Sasquatch or maybe something else. And put it in the freezer. Yeah. So let's let me talk about this next one. Okay, so we did that one. Okay, so this one was when I was solo, out doing my solo thing, and this was a pretty fresh break. It was over the trail, hunched over, like that, with really no apparent reason. There wasn't really anything storm-wise. It did freeze a little bit. It's flurrying right there, so possibly ice fracture, but this particular area right there is where I had down that stretch right there. I had 4 knocks on all sides, like a square. I was in the middle, one after another, and this type of stuff, it's always interesting, because when you investigate and stuff, you're on the fence. It's nature, is it not? It's either one or the other. I did feel, that with how close when I walked this and came back pretty much the next day, or it wasn't the next day, or a couple of days that had happened. I didn't feel like that was weather related. I didn't feel that it was nature related. I don't think a big fat squirrel walked up there and caused it to break. So that's why I kind of recorded it, because I kind of felt like, this was odd and possibly manipulation. Could be wrong on that one, but it's just something that I feel is kind of like an entrance to start to. You go down this gully and stuff, and it's where I had these knocks and stuff, and there's a swamp right there, and there's some islands and stuff. So it's a pretty weird area, when you're in there. You're going down, and you're kind of boxed in and stuff. So it's a good hunting spot, I guess, for sure. I like squirrel hunting. I've squirrel hunted there too. So, when I'm out there and stuff, hunting and stuff, I still do my thing. Still, share the environment with them and try to be respectful. And I hope it works. So yeah. So now we're going to look at some tracks, actually, that I found on the same day, actually, as that was taken.
To answer your question, Lockbeard, yes, that is the same guy, but
let me look at the. I would say I look at the.
I can't say for certain though that he faked that, but you can believe what you want to believe. But I haven't looked into that as much, so it's possible.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but that's what integrity comes from. Is this stuff that people claim legit, or is it made up? Is it? And that's it's just no doubt. That's it. It's either fake, they're lying, they're making it up, they know it, or it's real, or they unknowingly think it's real, but it's not. Whether it's hoax to them or fake to them or whatever. But anyways, okay, so let's look at these two tracks right here. This is right here on the edge of a water and stuff, and this is in a spot where this on the previous video where whatever was right there was eating clams, digging for clams, eating clams, and I had actually tracked the subject out to this little island bar, you can see, but there was no returning tracks and stuff, which is very odd and stuff. And I actually speculated that the subject possibly went into the water. And so I was walking right here, because this area is actually usually flooded stuff, and I had walked up and came right here across this track. And I'll scoot down closer, and you can actually see the toes. And I was without casting materials, but you can see the toes right there. And I was pretty flabbergasted at that point. There's no bears in this area. That's not a canine track, a wolf track. It's not a cat track. It's not a person in a boot. There's no, it's pretty wide too. And so I scouted ahead to go look for other tracks, because I'm like, well, if there's one, there must be more, right? And so, bam, there's one right there. It's the white stripe on the left is the this one, and then you see I do a comparison right there to that one, and I'm gonna zoom in right here.
Did you try to put your foot down in the ground to see if you could make the same?
Yeah, I just did that. It happens real fast. I'll replay it, but here I'm measuring it and stuff. It's actually pretty wide at the feet and stuff. The ball of your foot, where your your knuckles right here before your digits, pretty wide and stuff. And human shoes aren't like that and stuff usually. Wide, super wide like that, and tapered in, kind of like a triangle shape. So I'm doing some measurements and stuff on this, and then I go looking for other tracks because there's obviously there must be more, and this terrain right here is perfect because it's muddy, it's moist, it's wet, it's easily pushed in, and there's not much debris on most of it because it's flooded and stuff. So but what I discovered was it was eating clams and stuff all along this, and they were broken apart, completely snapped in half, and then some of them were just demolished. And then on the other side, I walked out and then around. I found this knuckle track. This was pretty good. So you can see here, look into it, and that's how it is. You see this knuckle print right there. It goes around. So I try to do the impression right here. So I show it. And, this is how they walk. They walk on their knuckles to distribute their weight. And so what I realized and what I think was going on is he's not walking upright like a person. He's on all fours. And he's hunched over and he's spread out. So he's not going to make a massive footprint in this muddy terrain. If he's standing upright with all his weight centered onto his feet, he's going to sink in pretty good. But if he's distributed on 4 center points, then his weight is distributed a lot more, and he's not making that much imprints. And so I couldn't track him. He didn't come back. I'm wandering around, and I suspect that he must have went into the water. because he went out there on the right side and he went up. The knuckle print is right there on the left side, but he doesn't go back to the shore. So I did end up going back on the other side around that way and found more clams that were being eating, and honestly they were looking like it was sitting on a tree, a branch, and so I looked for hair and stuff, but I didn't find any, unfortunately. But so and they're great swimmers. They're very good swimmers and very powerful, and they can hold their breath for a very long time. This creature with a huge, massive chest can suck up all this air and just swim for a while. Probably can hold their breath for, if we can do it for, 5 minutes, our supreme athletes, they can probably do 5 minutes, probably 10 minutes, I'm sure something according to their size and massive power. So, okay, so we got one more of the show, and this is a lone tree marker, and it is out of place right here. I'm looking up in the air to try to figure out, did this come from any place up top, and it did not. It didn't come from any of those. So the branch that we were looking at is the one on the left right there, the brighter colored one right there, the one I'm zooming in on right now. That is out of place. And it's all from the tree that's underneath it. You can see how long it is.
Your mic's a little distorted.
Does it?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. It didn't fall from the tree up top. It didn't come from that rotten tree at the bottom. The tree at the bottom is way more rotted than the other ones, than that one. I'm trying to figure out. I don't see no stump. I don't see no root ball. I'm trying to figure out, what's going on. And I always kind of do a little bit of that before I start filming anyways. And then I'm explaining it on the film. So if you watch the original one. But I look up there and there's, it didn't come from way over there, and none of those match up to how that tree would have fell into place like that. Now, it possibly could be a person because it's on a trail, but it was wedged up in there in such a way that most average hikers and stuff wouldn't randomly just take this awkwardly placed branch that didn't come from that area and walking down the trail and stick it up there and stuff. So I walked down the trail both sides and didn't find any spots where I felt like that came from. So that's why I documented it, and I think dude found cow dung. They usually don't find that cow dung in the woods, in the middle of the woods.
Well, did he have proof of him finding it, like when he actually found it?
I don't know. I don't know the story, so I can't comment on any of that. But
I just saw a few podcasts, so that's why I was wondering.
Into, I guess, right?
Well, I mean, we got to have him on here.
Yeah, we can have him on here. We'll ask him about it. See, get the story and stuff.
Get the tall ones. He'll hook us up.
Yeah, I can message him. Actually, I've seen him and have an avenue to get there. So let me look and see if I got anything else to share. Then we'll jump on to what you got. I think I don't have anything of the superstructure.
I got a lot.
Here. So I figured all that.
Most of it's video, so I can just speed through it.
Yeah, and let's mute it.
Oh, I was going to, yeah.
Yeah, so we can talk. and explain it stuff, and you
Yeah,
can
it's
explain
really
it?
cringe.
Yeah.
It's from when I first started, so you know.
No, that's perfect. No, that's good. It's good. It's good. Um,
Like I just took all the evidence I got pretty much and combined into like a big video. So it's like a long one.
oh, all right. Well, hopefully it plays and buffers out all right, as long as that does for everyone else on your guys' end. Just please let us know if there's any problems, and if the majority of you guys are having problems, we will try
Bro.
to adapt and change and fix it. All right.
I have one from 2018 and 2019.
All right. And then after that, we'll talk about Bigfoot eye shine and stuff and the new videos that I dropped. And James the Color Kid on his channel actually has a video that he dropped of some eye shine that he got. It's pretty unique and very similar to the stuff that we got up north and stuff that we caught. So it's very awesome that it correlates and it up to the same evidence. You know, it's very awesome. So we will talk about that after the tree structures.
What's
All right, James.
SWA? Oh, Sasquatch, Wizard, Adirondacks.
Yeah, I see there's 13 new comments. So let me.
Oh, you don't have it open?
No. I was looking at other stuff. I was going to look at other stuff to show, but nothing that was on this subject right now. So James, get something ready for us. I will put it on.
I already have it ready. I was waiting for you.
Yep, put it on. I'll get it up, Sharon.
Well, no, you said you had one more to show. I thought.
No. I was looking for one more to show. I don't have it.
Oh, okay.
Nothing on tree structures.
What are you doing?
I need you.
No, like you kind of have a comment right now.
I do.
Yeah, no, like
Oh.
you have Lockbeard's. Yeah.
That's my mouse doing that. I guess I don't know.
Okay.
I'm scrolling down through stuff, so I must have.
No.
No, you.
I already got it. I got it.
There.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You can see it, right?
Yeah, I can see it. Let me get it on screen.
Fortunately, most of these were taken with a camera angle with a phone, so it's gonna be not great, but you know. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So this is like off the trail a bit, just a bunch of combined together.
Yeah, let us know if you guys can see this. All right. Everyone, it's not buffering. It's not having no issues. Please let us know in the comments. All right, James. What's going on here?
This is the trail right here, so it's not too far off the trail. I'm walking to it to investigate. I'm realizing that they're like all connected basically. In the video I was talking, so yeah, there's like here, I'll try to pause it. Hold up.
Yeah, see, that's what I can't do when I was showing mine.
Pause it.
Yeah, I can't pause it because I'm not sharing it through how you're sharing it. When I try to do it this way, my computer always messes up and doesn't do it. So I have to share it through like the brand and stuff. So smaller clips, basically.
So basically, there's one going this direction. There's one underneath. And there's two right here. And then this is like a living limb right here. And they're all just connected together. Let's see if I show it better.
Yeah, and it's standing up and stuff too.
Yeah.
From what I can see.
There we go. There's a better angle.
Yeah, see, it's odd.
Oh, here we go.
How is it standing up?
Ah, jeez, it's so touchy. Okay, yeah.
Oh, it's all
See,
good.
there's a dead one. You can tell this thing's dead right here. I think this one's alive right here, and then there's another one right there, and then another one below it. And it's straight off the trail, but I don't know. It was like a
Why would a
weird
person do
thing.
that? If
Yeah, I don't know.
the only person that would be doing that would be a person trying to fake Bigfoot stuff. They would have to have knowledge of this and want to fake it. But
I was trying to check to see if that one's in the ground. I couldn't pull that up. That is literally stuck in the ground. I cannot pull it up.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, it's alive. Yeah. Yeah. See, this branch right here is alive. So it's still alive, but it has dead things on top of it.
it's odd. Yeah, we're finding these things out there, and it could be a few things. There's a few things that are reported in areas like this too. Not only Sasquatch, but apparently little people, and it makes you wonder. What is actually going on, and what's the purpose? What is the purpose? Because it's so abstract and stuff. A lot of people say TB structures and Ys and stuff and all this, but sticks aren't straight. Sticks are bent and curved and shaped, all misshapen, all over the place. So
And there's another teepee. I found this in the same park. So this one's man-made. You can tell. I don't think. I'm pretty sure kids
yeah,
made this.
there's
And
a
I think I
big
found like a Coke can inside or something. So
right, and there's a big difference between this and that. That there's no human use. There's only an abstract reason that a human would have done that. But this, shelter, purpose, and pretty
and then
humanistic design.
this was like a little bit into the woods. This wasn't really near a trail. This was like towards a swampy area. I found this to be a little weird, like a fence or something. I don't know. There's just a bunch of sticks just laid down in the middle of nowhere, basically. The only thing close to this was like a ranger station, basically. So I was basically in the middle of the woods. At a park, obviously, but I just don't see kids making this.
It doesn't look like much of a shelter or a
No,
clubhouse.
it's just odd. I don't know. Jeez. I don't know. I found this interesting, but I think it's just a bunch of stuff just fell on top of each other. Yeah, I don't know. If you look carefully, you can see it's mostly all dead.
Well, that's why you have to investigate and stuff to see if it fell into place.
That's just a picture. That's what it looked like from the path. That one I first showed. So that's why I wanted to look at it.
Yep.
So it's very out of place.
Yeah, exactly. And
oh, I got a better picture. Yep.
and you see how they're all focused in at a certain point right there, held into place like that, and their balance and stuff.
I think I found another teepee or something here. Just a bunch of. I gotta show a better angle here. They're mostly all dead, but I think maybe a kid did it because I don't know. It's in the middle. You can see it. You can see it from the trail. Like the trail's not too far away, but they're all just dead sticks against the tree.
Yeah, it seems like clubhouse and some kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's good to document that because
there you
that
go.
is humanistic design.
Yeah, see, just a bunch of dead sticks.
Yeah, see, but it's a shelter and stuff, and you probably have a place where people have sat and sit in, and if you find that in the middle of nowhere, absolutely nowhere, still has the potential there's just survivalists out there trying to do that too, and usually they build them a lot better with, leaves or actually pack in moss and mud and make it weatherproof. Because that is not rainproof. That's not going to keep the heat in and stuff. So it's actually
I
not
did
even
find a big break though from a tree,
Oh,
which I found interesting.
primitive stuff. So is the floor dug out in these? I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's just kids. So this was like a state park, so like a big state park too. I was looking for hair. I don't know. I found this interesting. Just like a tree split in half.
Yeah, it's always good to look for hair because it should be on surfaces that they touch and rub across, and if they are manipulating these things, potentially there's hair on them. So it's another good kind of reason why we investigate it because of the potential that it might yield hair if it's them doing it.
This was just a tree against a log, but it was like pretty huge. So I was like very confused, and there's nothing that this was like connected to. I'm not sure if it was from above or not, though. I didn't really look into it. Looked like there's another one right there. Oh, here you go. Just a log into a tree, basically. Might show. No, I don't.
Do you have any
Big
more
tree
pictures of
break
that one?
up there. What? I don't think
I
I
was going to
did.
ask about that.
Yeah, I don't think I do. Maybe I do.
But it's okay. It's okay.
I was hiking. I was just taking pictures of weird stuff I was seeing. This was a little bit off the trail, but I don't know, just a little odd. I don't know if kids were making it though, so because it doesn't look like a
Right.
structure, it just looks like stuff piled up.
Yeah, some of it could be deadfall and stuff.
Oh, here's a good one. Isn't that weird?
That one's a little bit more different. That's more eye catching and it harder to fall
It looks
into
like
place.
it looks like this and this one were like just cut off, but they landed right here for some reason. I don't know.
And usually, if people do it and want it to last longer, they have to wrap the top because usually when people do it, they get frustrated and they can't. It doesn't hold into place as they try to get more sticks into place on the structure. So, but yeah, exactly like Beard and Jay Fitz. There's countless there's millions of pieces of wood and then millions of pieces of wood that fall all the time. But there's definitely a tiny percentage that is weird. Random chances, 1 in a million shots, but we believe that there's definitely manipulation out there.
Someone said, "Is Bigfoot a person?" I mean, it's possible.
Sasquatch wizard and Adirondacks, yeah. Yeah, we've come across some things that laid up on against trees and stuff. There were smaller structure type things that were very odd and out of place.
All right. Continue. I forgot where that was. Oh, here's a good one. Just a bunch of deadfall against a tree, but just weirdly placed, it looked like. Forgot where most of this was. Oh, here. This is what I was talking about. Just weird, just dead branches, and then this one's just curved in. Pretty sure it's just deadfall though, but it is like weird against how it's against the tree.
Yeah,
And then
but
got
see,
X
a
here.
lot of that it could have fell into place and stuff and just gets hung on. And
Yeah, we got an X, a big long X. I think it's just coincidental, but who knows?
yeah, X is a pretty natural occurring nature-related fall because sticks are straight, and when they fall down, they land, and then they fall, and usually there's one already leaning on something, another one to fall on its end and come up, and so you will have A's and X's and stuff. That is pretty natural occurring stuff. So not every X and stuff that you see out there is manipulation by far, because just how they fall into place. So
I took a picture of a break. I'm not sure how high up this is, but it's just the way it was broken was interesting.
Yeah, I see it.
Let's see if I show the actual. No, I don't.
Yeah, that is pretty odd. I look sturdy enough for like a fat raccoon or.
There's another break up here. That's pretty tall. That's like 8 feet. Here, let me go back.
Yeah, that's pretty tall.
I think there was like an X back here, and that's why I took a picture of this. I don't know, I was just taking pictures of X's back in the day. So.
Yeah, this is not stuff that you really thoroughly investigate.
Yeah, I didn't really look into it. I just thought it was interesting. Oh, like this one.
When you go out there, you stuff that catches your eye is like the preliminary. Okay, take note, and then you dive in and actually spend time to investigate. But you can spend a lot of time on the stuff that you think is interesting.
Like here's I'm not sure if this one was alive or not, but there's a X right here. Now, this one's dead clearly, but just a big X. Actually, I do remember where this was. I think this was up in the northern Michigan area as well. Not like our location, but somewhere else. I think Atlanta or something over there. Private property. Oh, no. Oh, I did it. I knew it was going to happen. Okay, I did get a better picture of it, though.
It's all good.
All right, so, yeah. This one's completely dead, but it looks like this one's alive right here. Part of that last picture. Don't do that again. Okay, and we got a bendy boy right here. These are alive, so that's why I thought it was interesting. You can tell it's in the ground, and they're pretty large too.
So you're gonna pause it right here. So these are pretty. These are interesting, but these are also misleading at the same time. So
is it natural though?
This could be easily natural stuff because of weight and stuff. It could be snow load and stuff. It bends it a certain way, and it doesn't kill it, and it ends up fracturing it and stuff. And then so when it regrows, it grows stronger and stuff, and it kind of deforms and grows like that until if ever it pops back into place, or it'll just keep growing out like that. And maybe it when it was younger, an animal, a raccoon climbed up on it or something and snapped it over. Nature, possibly Sasquatch and stuff. But for me, when I see these, if it's tucked over and then pinned underneath something that doesn't look like it fell into place naturally, but pinned underneath something by manipulation, then I kind of give it credence. But this can happen naturally and stuff. So,
well, I knew that, but just these. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But no, what it's interesting though because of how they look. But we got a guest here. We have Brain Bug. Yes, we have Brain Bug.
Hello.
Hi. Let's get him on the show. How you doing tonight, Brain Bug?
I'm doing all right. I was just wondering about this this region that we're looking at. You said this is in Georgia?
No,
this is northern Michigan.
I said Atlanta. Yeah, sorry. No, that's a city in northern Michigan. Sorry.
Yeah, this is in Michigan. Okay. Does this area, is it down in the bottoms? Does it flood up in the spring?
No.
Okay.
This particular area up north. No, this area wouldn't be flooding. No.
Okay, because I live in like an area where like close to Mississippi, right? And the forested areas they flood up in the spring and like several feet up, sometimes dozens of feet. And the water comes up and leaves all these nice branches and stuff all leaned up against everything when the water levels drop down. I was just kind of wondering if maybe there was some of that going on, especially what they said looked like a fence. It looked kind of like when water floods into an area and knocks down the first row of trees into the one behind it, and it just they're all kind of laying there like water rushing through there. But Michigan,
if you're talking about that one where I showed the branches on the ground, that one's possible that happened because that was more of a swampy area.
Yeah. But so Michigan, that's a little different than Georgia for sure.
But
we got all four seasons.
And there are areas like that I've been to and stuff where our river systems, when they get flooded and stuff after snowfall, it gets all melted, they will manipulate an area like you said and take huge massive logs and manipulate it and stuff. And if you are next to a river in a flooding plain like that, you can't really count that as Sasquatch activity because of its natural occurrence. So I actually do know of some areas where that does occur. Not as massive scale as Mississippi though, but and Georgia, but yeah, definitely our stream systems and heavy river systems can actually do that. So
yeah,
that's why you eliminate that too.
Yeah, definitely. Mississippi Valley, that's very common in all the woodlands and stuff. Even if it hasn't flooded for 15 years or so, it'll still have remnants of trees laid up. How'd that even get up there? A full-size tree up in the branches of some other trees and things like that. That's just stuck like that for decades because it flooded, that high one time in 1993, and it just stayed there.
We do have tornadoes here, so it is possible that happens.
Mm-hmm.
There's really nothing like that that goes that high when it floods. We're talking, something would be, like maybe 5 foot level, 4 foot level, the big logs stuff, maybe 6 foot level. Nothing too major and stuff. But if it got flipped and tossed up, it could propped up in some trees, but nothing like Mississippi, how you guys flood down there. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you want me to continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Let's continue.
All right. Let's see what else I have in this. Oh, just an X.
Yeah, and again, it can be pretty natural. Sticks are pretty straight and do fall into place, and it causes X's and stuff. But
this one was a little weird. It's just like small stick structures on this one pine tree. Just one stick right there, one stick right here, and one stick right there. They're all leaning against this pine tree. I don't know. Another X. Looks like there's a branch right here. Branch right there.
Reminds me of the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah. It gets creepy out in those woods.
And
what time of day?
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. This is like a collection of pictures from a long time ago, so I don't remember exactly where all these are from.
You just like an afternoon hike though is basically.
Oh yeah, I don't stay out there that late by myself, so
yeah.
Got another one of these,
So we're gonna need you to go back here at 4 a.m. and just take some more pictures. The exact same location, just the same pictures. Just at 4 a.m. if you would.
Oh, here we go. Another just dead tree, but I think it just fell because they're still in the ground.
Right.
This
was.
What?
I was asking if that's a fence back there, but
yeah, this is a fence.
Our host was talking. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. It's okay.
I was out with Chuck Sutherland. I forgot where this was though. I do remember finding this though. I'm pretty sure it's just a down tree, but it's definitely stuck in there, so it's definitely weird. I don't know.
This is all deciduous forest here.
So it looks
I mean,
When you go more north, it gets more.
yeah, gets pinier.
Yeah, definitely. Conifer.
When you get up into that area, do you see the same kind of structures and things that are laying around in the forest when you get up into the pine forest?
It's harder. It's harder to determine because there's so much more mass chaos of downfall. It's a little different. The
Oh yeah,
forests down in lower Michigan are kind of more open and stuff. So, when you see these things, it stands out a little bit more. But when you're up there, it's kind of a little bit different, especially the thick forests and conifers and all that, and the mix and stuff. It's really just a massive maze of claustrophobic tightness. So it's a little bit harder to determine. And if you want to spend the time and everything, then yeah, you can probably find stuff. But most of the
this
stuff we
looks
find is
pretty
lower
open.
Michigan.
Yeah, this looks pretty open here. These pictures.
I forgot where this was, but I'm not sure if this is legit or not. It's mostly dead, so but they are pretty big logs. That's what I did take note of. They're pretty
Are you
decent
getting
size.
Are you getting further off the trail the further down these pictures we go?
Again, I have no idea.
Oh, okay, okay.
This video is from like 4 years ago, so
I keep asking you questions about it, and yeah, it's been a long time, and you don't remember.
Yeah, this is when James kind of first started out a little bit and stuff, and
this is some deadfall just against some deadfall, which I found a little odd too.
and that's why we always investigate to see if if it fell into place, if it came from that area, if it came from the tree above, or if it's totally out of place.
Just some dead
But
trees.
so you spot this stuff out there, then you investigate it.
There's one up there. I'm trying to remember where this was. It's not ringing a bell, so it's probably not important.
So, are these kind of things? Are they just? How do they get linked together with
There's a good
Sasquatch? I
one.
guess is what I'm wondering. Are there Sasquatch sightings in conglomeration with these structures, or?
Some.
I have no idea.
And well, they're in areas of Sasquatch activity. Me and James has investigated some while we were having activity. The manipulation up in the UP, me and Jason had when we were looking at it, and we walked away. That's when our encounter started. And, we were studying it. And it was very fresh and stuff, and right in front of our faces. And we walked that trail that wasn't there before. So if they're doing it, something's doing it.
Yes, yeah, definitely. There's definitely a phenomena there that's happening in the forest.
Whether it's Bigfoot or not, I mean, that's what we feel, but it could be something else. We don't know.
Right.
And in one case of the superstructure that was documented from Michigan, there was footprints and stuff that were casted and found and stuff like that. It leads to Bigfoot, which is unique because there's not many reports or witnesses or evidence or supports tree manipulation with Sasquatch activity, footprints around it and stuff like that.
So, finding footprints in the vicinity of these structures, now that's interesting. Do you have a specific report that you're referring to? Because I'd love to look into that.
I've actually found that specifically.
Yeah.
Cool.
James
Yeah,
Scott, the kid
hit me
himself.
with it. I love that stuff.
Not
I
just
love
me, but I had a group of people with me.
You got the picture stuff? You load that up? I don't have it here.
I can show it
so
after
I-
this. Hold up.
No, yeah. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you too to go through your video, man, or your photos, man.
Or I can just send you the video where I could probably do that too.
Yeah.
Unless you want me to show the
it's,
whole one on stream, because here, let me just keep going. Oh, here, I wanted to look how tall this one up was. Did you see how tall this breakup is? That's like basically my phone. I don't know. I'd say it was at least 8 feet.
Yeah,
9
I can
feet
tell
up.
it's up
It's
there.
pretty tall up
I
there.
mean, it's
Yeah.
taller than you. Right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
yeah, a lot of people speculate that they break them at their shoulder height or whatever.
It's just
To
like a
bark, what does that mean? I don't know. It means something.
It's just a small break here with another branch leaning up against it. I found really weird. Just more stuff against other stuff.
Right, and when you're out there and you spot them, then you go in and investigate and really look and stuff. But you could spend hours out there and find nothing, even though it looks cool.
That's pretty interesting looking, though. Those.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
This is all a part of a tree. I think. Yeah, this all deadfall back here is part of a tree, and then there's just a few leaned up against it. Just a tree inside another tree. I find a lot of those for some reason. Just a small X. I think that was in the ground too. Just deadfall up against another tree. More stuff on the ground laying down.
Some of the stuff that it looks nature related.
There's another X. Oh, look at that X. It's a nice X.
Yeah. Some of this is blockage and stuff and manipulation to herd deer into certain spots, it seemed like, because there's certain blockages and stuff we found and some of the areas me and James been into where there's like a narrow game trail that has to weave in between this. And it potentially might slow them down. Easier to catch. And so that's something we're kind of working on and trying to document.
Looks like more manipulation. Oh, here we go. Broken branch intertwined with a living one. I don't know. The heck is this? It's just another angle. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
looks like these are laying on top of a. Well, this one looks dead right here. This one's alive, and they're just all laying on top of it. Oh, here we go. Upside down Y. A live branch right here. And it's just intertwined, but upside down Y. And there's even a little cutoff right there. Branch fallen in the middle of another X. Oh, this was a bunch of little sticks in like a bush. I can't remember where this was.
Yeah, some of this people call like astrids and stuff.
Yeah, asterisks, yeah. Except they're like really small, which is really weird.
Or a lot of X's, I guess, if you want to. We found some in some odd places where it doesn't seem like. And all of the ground litter of all the twigs are all picked up and put into them. That's very odd and stuff. They definitely fall into place, especially when you see like marks where the branch actually came up from, where it was laying in the ground, and then it's put into one of these astrids or piles. It's very, very odd.
Okay. Do you ever get any animal shots when you're out here?
Like deer?
Yeah.
Like pictures of deer? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Yeah, I just wondered if you see anything like that while you're out here taking photos of this area. Just kind of wondering what kind of wildlife lives around here.
We got deer, we got black bear. We got
coyotes.
coyotes,
lower
wolves,
in,
some
lo-
wolves.
in lower Michigan, yeah, we have deer and coyotes and badgers and stuff like that, raccoons, normal stuff. And up north, then we get into like black bears, wolves.
I
We
think
got
there's like
elk
2
here. We
snakes,
have moose here.
3 snakes.
We do actually have poisonous snakes here, rattlesnakes, and some
Yeah,
water
but they're
snakes.
very
these
rare.
timber rattlers.
Mess
Uh-huh.
you up. It depends on where you're at. Some concentrations are more heavy in areas in lower Michigan and up north. We do actually have some timber rattlers and stuff, and the same as the Canadian variety. So,
So
but
this
they're pretty rare.
this
I see.
branch right here is pretty much just levitating. This one's leaned up against it, and this is another branch right here that's going up. I found this. There's a road right here, but no one goes down it. It's like an abandoned area. And I just found this off to the side of the road pretty much. I think this was. I know where it was, but I don't remember the name of the park. It was lower Michigan, like towards Detroit area, though.
It is, yeah, balancing and stuff. And humans, why would they do that? It's so abstract, meaningless to a normal average human that is going there for.
Oh, here we go. Here's a better picture. Yeah, see, it's literally levitating. Just being held up.
And
I
we
was
have
just-
come across some
yeah.
of that where there's a single stick and there's these sticks that are balancing and they're hanging and stuff in such a way where it definitely doesn't seem like it fell there. And if it did fall in there, that's a 1 in a million chance, or even higher. Who knows? But
I don't know. I just found this interesting.
yeah. And these are kind of the signs that you look for, of these
Oh,
balancing
it's a better picture. It's brighter.
branches and stuff.
Oh, it's a picture of the other side, just more zoomed out. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I made sure to show that it's really levitating.
As real
X.
evidence. It takes a lot of documentation.
Here we go. Branch right here, and like a small one intertwined into this, goes underneath of it, goes up. I don't know, just a little weird. I think it's like right off the trail, but I just found it unique.
Yeah.
This is probably natural. It just fell into place probably, but it's like going through the middle of this.
Sasquatch Wizard Adirondacks actually has a good point right here. We'll bring this comment up real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm like full screening, so I'm not really looking. So my fault.
Yeah, I was just reading that. I thought that was.
This Nectara fungus starts as a powdery substance, and then the scale insects pierces the tree weakens, becomes brittle, then snaps. Careful with the beech tree snaps. They'll be presenting that soon. Yeah, and that's why you look for other indicators of if that tree branch or whatever was taken somewhere else to put into this place. There's no tree stump, there's no root ball, there's nothing that indicates that happened. In fact, manipulation. So there's other indicators besides a snap tree, but it's definitely hard. It's definitely something that's going to be evolving, especially if there's a more streamlined process to figure it out instead of opinions.
That's what this was. All right, so we got a bend stick underneath of this dead one. That one, can you say that? Can you? That one's
Right,
a little bit more interesting than the other bend one.
And if
underneath of another stick.
It fell there naturally, and it caused it to bend and stuff. Then it leans again towards more manipulation and stuff. So you try to investigate further. And
Got to keep those Michigan winters in mind too. That snowfall can bend a tree
Well,
all
yeah,
the
Very
way
it's
true.
up.
possible.
very true. And if you go to an area enough and it happens outside of winter and stuff, and then you can document if there's, heavy winds or if a storm just blew through. Because if a storm just blew through, then everything you just find is pretty much storm related. But if you find something after that, where there's no wind, no rain, no nothing, okay, then then you might have something, and yeah, you don't have to chalk it up to storm damage.
So this looks like I remember taking this picture. There's literally huge branches just intertwined with this tree.
Now that looks like what I was talking about when the flood waters went up. That's what we would see in the woods. That's kind of interesting that you're seeing
I
this
don't
in
think
an
it
area
floods
that's
that bad, but
that doesn't
Yeah,
flood.
no, this is definitely not flooding that high at all.
Mhm.
I don't know,
No.
just
It
That's
is,
interesting.
that is interesting that you would say that too, because it's definitely not flooding there.
a better picture. No. This is the same spot though, just more sticks leaning up. Oh, I did take a video. Oh, yeah, better angle here. Just leaning up into this tree, just two sticks on each side. And here's the big tree where I showed all that stuff. Just huge branches.
Yeah, another indicator would be the butt end of the tree or the sticks up in the air. Especially if they came from the ground or if they're standing in the ground. Their root ball system or butt end of the tree should not be up in the air, pinned up like that. Can't magically just tumble up into place.
Yeah,
like
the
that.
only thing I can think of that could do that naturally would be a flood, and it'd have to be a heck of a flood. You're saying this is in the upper Highlands areas, so
No, this is more towards Detroit, but
It doesn't flood like that here. Not serious enough for that to happen.
I think this is like a. Let me look at a map real quick, but here's another X right here.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, this is outside of Detroit. This is areas where people would laugh at Sasquatch being there, even researchers. But there's a lot of sightings consistently throughout the last 100 years in these areas and on the river systems throughout this whole state.
So with Sasquatch sightings, there's this kind of division among how they're kind of portrayed. The southern states, like Missouri is where I grew up, and you get the smelly, shaggy, hunched, almost more ape-like rendition, and then you got your Pacific Northwest kind of the patty image of it. So in Michigan, what are the sightings like? Are they more like a patty kind of thing? Or are they more this shaggy, babbling, stinky thing?
Variety, honestly. Most of the time, it's I would say Patty and stuff. From what
Yeah.
I had seen and glanced at silhouettes and stuff. They're massive, sloping cones.
Oh, and
head
you
shape.
all get Dogman sightings mixed in with that too, don't you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that I had seen, the Dogman I had seen, I hate calling it Dogman because it doesn't feel right, but it was a very natural looking wolf on all four legs until it got up and ran like a human in the field. Then it wasn't so natural looking.
That's please, can we have that story? Have you? I sorry if you told that story a million times and you're sick of telling it. That's super interesting.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So this was October of last year. Not last year, 2 years ago. Or no. Yeah, 2 years ago. Yes. Not
Oh, I was like,
2020.
did I lose?
2020 October. First week of October. Driving down the road with my family in the car. girlfriend in the passenger seat. Driving down this road, we go down dozens of times a year, and it was after sunset. We had the brights on. It wasn't really dark enough to have the brights on, but there's a lot of deer. We just want to be safe and stuff, and so we're driving down the road, and then all of a sudden I register a canine head crossing the white line on the left. And this happens really fast, but as soon as I register the canine head and it's moving, towards the center of the road as we're going 55 miles an hour down the road, I'm thinking, oh, cool, it's a coyote. It's going to cross in front of us. Wow, it's pretty cool. It's out in the open. You don't really see that too often. When it got to the middle of the road and we're getting closer, to the middle of the road, I see that it's holy crap! It's massive. It's huge. It's not a coyote. It's a wolf. Very long portions and very massive body to it. Like,
was that the first wolf you ever saw in Michigan?
First wolf I seen, out of the wild, especially in Lower Michigan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. We don't officially we don't have wolves this far south in Michigan.
We know they travel down there in the winter, though. We yeah.
Yes, for sure, potentially, but officially the DNR would say there's definitely not this far south. No way.
And there's no cougars too, but they wander in from more common habitat when the males are looking for mates, especially.
Oh, very true, very true. There's kind of a conspiracy on that for sure. Okay, so and then about the middle, when it got to the middle of stuff, it kind of glanced at us. So if you ever seen a dog run or wolves run or a bear run and they go really fast, really put it in hyperdrive and they kind of bob their head really fast and they do this motion where they're kind of bobbing their head as they're girding along. It did that to really get across the road because we're coming in on it. And it turned and looked at us because its eyes were reflecting off our car lights. And so it was shining and stuff. And so when it's doing that girt motion, it was kind of doing this circular motion. And it looked at us because we could see not only this eye on our side, but the other eye when it looked across its nose. And
did it have eye shine? Like, was I don't know.
It was reflecting off our car lights. So it was not giving off its own. It was reflecting.
No, eye shine. Yeah, like if you shine a flashlight in the woods, you see that the animal's eyes reflect back. Yeah.
So, and then it crosses the road and runs in the field. And just about as we're going, it's running straight in the field and we're coming across. And as we're right about here and we cross and go like this, as right here, it stands up. It's in the field, but as we're like about parallel to it, it stands up and starts running like a person, with arm moving and everything like a person. Stands up very fluidly and continues to run from all fours to bipedal movement very fluidly, and
it was running like a person. It went from digigrade to plantigrade, like just fluid.
No, without stopping and still maintaining its speed. And so at this point, it's, I would say 6 feet tall. At least I'm 6 feet tall. It's at least as tall as me, maybe bigger, standing up. And my girlfriend's in it. And I have my GoPro right there. And
the crazy thing about that is
she wasn't gonna let me stop, and she had seen it.
Pictures,
real quick. She said, she's like, I asked her, what she had seen. She said she had seen what I had seen, but at first she said she thought it was a person on a bike because it was standing up on the side of the road, and then it went down, and she started seeing these eye reflections doing this circle movement, and she thought it was a bike of some sort, but then she realized, holy crap, this was not that. So apparently she had seen it and it was standing up on the side of the road and then went on all fours across the road. And this is there's houses and stuff. This is the country, but there's a house, 500 yards, half a mile away, a quarter mile away and stuff. It's not out in the boonies. It's not the wilderness. This is still pretty rural America, everyday America, but
So did it have a long tail? Like a
yeah,
like a
it
wolf?
was like a wolf. Everything about it was a natural wolf. If it never got up on two legs, I would have just thought it was a wolf. Nothing
That reminds
screamed
me of like
werewolf, nothing screamed dog man, nothing screamed, freak of nature. This was very natural looking until it stood up.
that reminds me of like you see like skinwalker sightings and stuff, what
Yeah, that's
people
what I was about to
report,
say.
and they like, oh, it looked like a regular canine, and it was walking along the side of the road, and then all of a sudden it stood up, and yeah, it's like that's like a common occurrence, like around the Navajo nations and things like that.
So the second part of that, and I don't tell this side too often. I have before, is I had a dream after this. I had a dream of a certain situation, okay, and certain things that were said. A couple months couple weeks later, still October, we were out. We're doing our Dewey Lake Monster Conference out in Dewey Lake area. We were sitting around the campfire and stuff, and my dream that I had dreamed had came true. The people were set up in the same way, the same setting, same backdrop, and the two people that were there we had mentioned the same thing and said the same thing and same mannerism and same likeness, even the same head cocking.
It was like a whole deja vu moment with your dream,
The
huh?
deja vu moment. The thing was Skinwalker. In the dream, they said the thing could be a Skinwalker, and then and so that was very weird. And when that happened, I was very I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything to anyone. I didn't mention it to anyone. I was very reserved and took it in and kind of thought about it. And then later, I told people, hey, this came true. This is deja vu. And so I don't know. I don't know if it's just nothing. I guess I have to add it to the story because it's related.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing about it, and I was there.
I've told you this before. I've told everyone this before, but it's been a little while since I've told it. So
that's one of the I've listened to a few of your shows. This is the first time I've ever come on, but that's one of the more interesting stories that I've heard on here. I mean, usually you talk about a lot of Bigfoot stuff, so it's interesting to hear that you kind of dip into some of these other cryptid topics.
Well, we got Stickman too.
Stickman.
Yeah, me and him.
you have to when you experience it,
Oh my goodness, that sounds interesting. What's a stickman?
Well, all that happens is I just, we go out there, I go out there and we experience stuff that seems to be odd and abnormal. But when I was younger, 14, 15, I was already Sasquatching, at 13. I already had my first encounter with a Bigfoot. And so I was out there researching and stuff, going at night by myself. I had a friend spend the night, and I took him out Sasquatching without telling him that's what we were doing. We're just, out in the woods. And when we get back, we decided to go on the other side of the property, behind the fence, behind the barn, over by this cow pasture where the cows are. And we had just crossed this fence just out of my backyard into the field, back field. It was kind of overgrown with grass, but it was wet and damp and matted down. But we walk 20 yards away from the fence line, the corner, not that far, 10 yards, 20 yards, not that far. And I look over to this broken tree, and the stump was about 5 or 6 foot tall. And I'm looking at it, and we're walking, and I'm talking to my friend, and I'm looking at it, and just something just didn't add right. Didn't look right to me, and just didn't add up. And we're looking at this, and all of a sudden, notice that there's a head goes like that and stuff. So I smack my friend and stuff. And, hey, look at this! Look! And all of a sudden, this creature, peeked out from behind the tree and looked at us. And it was a humanoid creature. It was bald, super skinny, naked, super skinny. So skinny that I nicknamed it the Stick Man because its arms, when it did it the second time, leaned out. Its whole arms, was like the size of my wrist. Very skinny type of humanoid. And it was about 7 foot tall. I'm 6 foot tall. It was about 7 foot tall from what I estimated. And this thing was, and the moon was out. The moon was bright. I don't know if it was full moon, half moon, but it was bright enough that we could see that it was kind of a tannish, naked, pale humanoid. Its eyes, although they were not illuminated or anything, I remember that they were very yellowish tan color. It was bald, humanoid. It looked like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Except for really tall.
Except for it was about 7 foot tall, 6 foot tall, 6'5", 7 foot tall. I wouldn't say any taller than that. And when a tree peeked at us, basically the third time, that's when my friend was really freaking out. And I was freaked out too, because here I am looking for Bigfoot, and I see this thing, and I don't think it was a Bigfoot. It would have to be, if it was a Bigfoot, it would look like a Holocaust victim. That is, what it would look like if it was a Bigfoot,
Can I just say that Bigfoot Holocaust would be a killer band name? Just throwing that out there.
Right. But that's how, emaciated and stuff it would have to be if it was an actual 7 foot tall Bigfoot. To the point where, the thing would probably be about dead at any time. I just can't see it.
Is that the only time you saw it?
We went inside and told my dad, freaking out, and said, saying, this Stick Man's out there, My dad's old school, no nonsense kind of guy, drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette. Goes out there, goes to the fence line, he's looking at the tree, and he comes back inside and says he didn't see anything. But a couple years after this, my dad says, "Hey, you ran a Stick Man thing?" And I said, "Yeah. I always, I knew what I seen. I always kept to the story, and my buddy never came back over to that house after that." But my dad said, "Well, let me tell you the real story." And the real story is, he went out there and he did see it. And the reason why he lied is we had just moved to this property around a year before. My mom had passed away. I'm 13, 14. My brother's 5 years younger than me. My dad works all day, comes home. It's about dark, He didn't want us freaking out, scared that, he had seen something too. And there was actually something else out there. And so he had actually seen it. And so he was staring at the trees, at the spot. And the creature tree peeked at him. And he said he got a good look at it, of course. And he said the same thing. And he's smoking on the cigarette with the beer in his hand. And he's looking at it, and he's just taking it all in. And the creature does a second time. He sees its shoulder, and it's really coming out, and its arms are very low to the ground. And he said when it did it the third time, it came almost halfway out, where he got a pretty dang good look at it. And he likes to describe it as like a tall, gray alien type of creature, of that look, of a tall, gray humanoid. Oh. That's what he, kind of describes it as. It was naked and stuff, And so he turns around. He says, "Okay," and turns around and walks inside. And he's contemplating. He's thinking about, okay, well, maybe I should go grab the gun, the shotgun or one of the rifles, and go back out there and do something about it or do something, whatever. And then so he decides to, you know what? Not he's just gonna lie to us and say there's nothing out there, and he tells us to go upstairs and go in our rooms, and we did. We didn't go back out there, and it took me a little bit to go back in the woods after that. Not as much as my first encounter, where it took about 2 months to go in the woods. It just took probably about a month, and then I was back in the woods, and never experienced that ever again. But that is what I nicknamed the Stick Man, because at the time there was no other reference to it. Maybe a Wendigo, maybe a ghoul, a goblinoid creature. Then the Rake creepypasta came about.
The Rake? Yeah.
The Rake.
Yeah, I know the Rake.
Creepypasta, the Rake. My encounter was before that was created and stuff, but yet it resembled the exact same thing. Creature, for all physical appearances, was the exact same thing I had seen, just minus the paranormal stuff. And
so the Rake is it's kind of fleshy colored. You said that this thing was gray though, so is that just a key difference there?
It was a tannish. Yeah, I mean it was. I wouldn't say gray. I would say it was more of a tannish. It looked like the dead grass, the dead tall grass. It looked very similar in color to the grass and surrounding.
But your dad thought it looked gray, like a gray alien.
No, he said it reminded him of it. He didn't say it
Okay.
was a gray alien. He said it reminded him of it.
Okay.
Not that it was a gray alien from a UFO, but
Yeah, that's a interesting story though. You said you were 14 and your brother was 5. Was your brother involved in this at all?
5 years younger. 5 years younger than me.
It was just you and your friend out there looking into the woods though, right?
Yeah, we were looking in the woods before that, and then we went to the other side of the property, and this was in a tall grassy area next to cow fields and stuff. So pretty out in the open, besides the few trees and stuff. And
Did
the
you
one
ever-
tree was behind.
Did you ever go back to the same exact spot and see if you could see it again after like 2 months?
Yeah, it was right there in my backyard. It was like,
No, I'm saying, did you go back there and look after you
Yeah.
weren't afraid of the woods?
it was like it's like 100 yards,
Well,
less
yeah,
than 100 yards,
you-
100 yards from my
sometimes
doorstep,
you would
my
go
deck.
back to
So
the
yeah,
area
I went back there. I investigated the tree stump and stuff and looked where it stood, and that's when I determined, it was about 7 feet tall. And I did investigate all the area, and there, I don't know what it was. I don't know why it was out there looking at us. I don't know what it would have done, what its intention was. I do feel like it was so skinny that I could probably break its arms over my knees like a stick. Hence why I called it Stick Man.
So were you pretty outdoorsy when you were a kid? Spent a lot of time running around in the woods and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out there all the time.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah. So did that stifled that, huh? You couldn't even go out in your own backyard without feeling uncomfortable.
A little bit. Because with the Bigfoot thing, when I encountered it, it freaked me out as close as it got. But, I kind of was comforted that nothing did happen. As close as and crazy as it happened, nothing did happen. But with that thing, seeing it, it was just creepy. I didn't know what it was. I didn't have no reference to it, what kind of creature it was or entity. So that, the creepiness of it, was a deterrent to go back. But it couldn't keep me away for too long, And I was out there by myself with the big Bowie knife and a walking stick. Full moon, I'd be out there by myself all the time. Got myself in some pretty sketchy situation in some swamps, falling into muck, getting sucked up to my chest because I tried to jump over there's a creek through a swamp, and I didn't land on the bank enough, and I fell in, and going out there, midday, and going out and getting caught out after dark and stuff in an area I didn't really want to be out after dark. And yeah, you have fun, you get creepy, and I've been to some areas where you would think there was Bigfoot stuff, but found tracks, had wood knocks around there, stuff got thrown.
So, did you camp in the woods out there behind your house when you lived
No,
there?
when I was a teenager, no. When I had friends and stuff over and stuff, yeah, we would. What we usually would happen, we would just stay up all night and be out there in the woods. So we would
Yeah.
just when it was daybreak or just to be about daybreak, we would come back to the house and crash. Crash.
Yeah,
our
we
kitty.
do things like that. Go out in the woods and have a place where we had a camp for a bonfire, not like necessarily like with tents and stuff, just a bonfire. We sit out
Right?
there till
Yeah,
like
yeah,
5
we did
a.m. and then coming up back to the house and sleep all day.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was one time with my buddies we went out in the woods and all of a sudden we heard this massive flapping noises, just flapping, and I'm thinking, holy crap, there's this massive, like Thunderbird type of creature. It's massive, and it was about 20 turkeys flapping all in unison because we walked underneath of them. So it was very cool, very surreal sound.
Oh, I got
we
one to
very
tell you.
quickly-
It's like
very
that.
quickly determined that, of course, but at
I was
first it
doing-
sounded like one massive bird.
I was doing like when we were younger, we'd do like creek runs. We'd run down the creek bank, the bed as fast as we could, and have races and stuff down through them. And I was running down through the creek bed, and all of a sudden, this freaking head popped up out of the bushes. It was about 3 foot high. It was pretty big animal hissing at me. Yeah, so I thought the first thing that pops in my head is like a cobra or something because the way it popped up like that. But then the big old wings come out and that goose chased me all the way to the river.
Yeah, they're pretty mean and territorial, man.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was a great time in that area actually growing up. I'm glad I grew up there and
yeah.
shaped me to where I'm at now. And I got lucky. I was always out there by myself a lot. I got lucky that they didn't do nothing. I wasn't too stupid either. So, all right, James. I guess do you want to continue? We can hurry up and get through this. I don't want to go out too longer because I actually do have to. Since the time is springing forward, I actually do have to get up at like 4:30. So now it's going to be
Jeez, what the
less
heck?
time.
Oh, yeah, it's like it's actually 1 a.m. here. Goodness. It just sprang forward for me.
It's this new schedule I'm on, so I gotta keep doing what I'm doing, whether so the show must continue on,
Let me continue real
but
quick. I'll get to the juicy stuff.
yeah, and I want to show the superstructure if you got that, since that has some Sasquatch evidence.
There's a parking lot right here, but I wasn't sure if a human made this just because of how well built it was.
Very true, very true. And it was a same kind of park and stuff.
No, this is somewhere else.
Is
Okay,
that the
But
path right there?
this was like the only thing I found. Yeah, the parking lot was right there, so it's like
yeah,
it just didn't look like a human make this because there is a path right here, but just I don't know. I found this like very interesting. I went inside of it even.
I would say human.
I wonder if kids built that. Was the ground area worn?
There was just pine all over the ground right there. You can see from all the pine.
Right. Is that cedar?
That would be either cedar or the type of soft pine.
Where you can see the whole backside of it, just logs
I think
and
that's soft pine.
pine laid up against it. Casual X. What's that? Just dead thing. Oh. Yeah. Oh, here's another X, big X. Okay, that's that one. Are you gonna go till 3 hours, or you want to go to bed at like 2?
I would say
What's your limit? Is what I'm asking.
yes. Well, I don't know, 20 minutes. I don't want to go too.
Okay.
I do have
All
to get
right.
up and drive and be driving around. So
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna pop back out to the side chat, you guys. You have a good night.
Oh, do you want me to send you that?
Oh, yeah.
wait. Here.
all right, yeah.
If you just stay right here. I'll put it in private chat
Okay.
because I can't post the links for some reason in his chat. I'm not a mod yet.
Did you mod him?
No, he didn't. That's the problem.
I did.
Let me
I
find
thought
it.
I did.
Oh, let me
I
check.
think Sherry's modded.
Yeah, I know.
I
I'm
know.
not.
Anyways, I'll fix that. I appreciate you coming on, Brainbug.
Yeah.
You're welcome anytime. Hop on.
Hold on. Just stay right here for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out just to get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I'm very disorganized.
We're a very professional Hollywood network show.
Yeah, I found it.
Clearly, you know.
All right, here's the link.
All right, got it. Good night,
check
guys.
that out.
All right. Let me just show the other one real quick. I could just skip through it. This one has way better stuff than the one I just showed. So, because it's a year later, so I learned what is good and what isn't.
Yeah, more experience. And then when it comes through actually going out there and trying.
All right, so this is Metamora State Park, which I found a footprint at. I think it's showing this video. That park was interesting, but I went in winter, so everything was dead. And it looked like there was like bark and like rocks out there. Just a tree inside of an X. We got a bend. Just looks like just a pile of wood, sticks and stuff.
Yeah,
Little
see,
small
that is harder stuff to
deadfall. It
determine
might,
stuff.
yeah, it's hard to tell if this is deadfall or not. So that's the problem.
And that's what the problem with pictures are too, is especially when you have good ones, is it's hard to express
Here we go.
what we see on the ground in these pictures. You know, it's
So-
really hard to capture what we are seeing in the moment.
This is the footprint I found. It was in the middle of the trail, but it was a single footprint and it was fairly deep in the ground. I didn't have any casting material because I wasn't really advanced in that just yet. But
Was the
this is the footprint. There's like a toe there, toe there, toe there, toe there.
which way was this facing on the trail? Like, was this trying to cross the trail or was this walking along the trail?
It was walking along the trail, like in the middle, basically.
Okay.
I didn't
And
find
it
anything
was
else
like one.
afterwards. I put a recorder next to it to show that it wasn't huge. Like, it was basically the size of my foot, just like a little bit bigger. I don't know if I used my foot to compare it or not. Hold on. I did. It was basically the same size as my foot. So it could have been a person. But I tried to make an indent, and I could not make the same indent. Talking about it.
Again, if their ball of their foot and stuff arches and stuff, and they're just on half ball of their foot, it's potential that have a huge individual with huge footprints only making smaller footprints when they're on all fours or bent or
There was also like one person I saw that was actually there, so there was like nobody there. It was pretty dead.
Plus it'd be a pretty heavy guy to be able to make
Yeah, see, I'm trying to make an indent
that
and I
much
can barely do
indentation.
it. Yeah, I've made like 0 indent in the ground. I'm like trying with all my weight. I couldn't do it. See, just like a little bit.
Yeah, that's the same.
All right, here. Oh, no, I don't. I don't know. It just made like a small indent. Yeah, see, it's just in the middle of the trail, though. See, I'll show it again. Just not going up a hill up there, and then the footprint's right in the middle right here. Nothing else in front of it. At least that I could tell. I just thought it was interesting. That was literally only just in the middle of the trail.
Yeah, I've the one I showed earlier was one off on the trail. Just one just on the trail, imprinted in the ground. I couldn't do the same level, and it was just randomly there.
A baby X. I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool. Oh, I actually like looked at it too. See if it was in the ground or not. Long stick with an X. Just like a asterisk basically almost. Some deadfall. Oh, there's some sticks. More weird sticks just intertwined together. That one literally just a tiny stick. Just right there. Oh, this one just has a bunch of tiny sticks intertwined with just a few. I don't know. This one was interesting. It was just like off to the side of the trail, like a little bit, but it was just like just a bunch of sticks all together. And then there was a trunk with just sticks in it. And this is all in just the same area, and the trail's right there, so it's not too far off from the trail, but just found it really weird. I don't
I don't
think
know. It's
there's
just
some rocks
people,
there too.
a
There's
couple
another
kids
structure.
stuffing this stuff in there, or
I have no idea.
if humans do it, there used to be a general reason. Usually common sense reason you'd have to kind of think about, and if there isn't one, then probably it's not a person.
Yeah, the road's right there too, so it's just I don't know. It was
And
just
a
all
lot of
weird. Oh, here I took a video. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say trying to get a drink because my throat's scratchy, but there's a lot of tree structures and stuff found along roadsides and on property lines and along electricity pole corridors and stuff, actually on the boundaries next to properties and along these trails. So, and on alongside footpaths, from what I've experienced. So,
Yeah, and then there's just more right here, just all in one area. I just don't know if kids would do that, even if it is like right next to the trail. I don't know, it's just a little weird. I don't know. Yeah, same. This is just weird.
kids usually have a purpose of destruction, or they're gonna build a fort and stuff. Like, so if it doesn't look like the kids are destroying it and throwing stuff into place, or they're building something into place, then it's probably not the kids or teenagers.
I like take a good look at this. I'm just like, it was just dumbfounding that I was right next to a trail and there was all this structure stuff. It was very like artsy too, like a display.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of held into place right there.
There's a small asterisk on the ground right there. Oh, there we go. There's another weird one where all on the ground, just little sticks woven. Another weird one.
And this is the thing is, you have to go out there and investigate and look.
All right, this is up in more wooded area, like hunting area now. This is I forgot the name, but it's more up in the thumb is where I'm at right now. All these next pictures you're going to see because I'm out with people.
Okay.
And they found footprints. So there's going to be some footprints in this one. And we had a measuring tape, so I was prepared this time a little bit.
It's always good to have some type of scale reference.
Just a break in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
There's a footprint right here. It's pretty small, but there's indent right there. And this is when it was like winter, like fall, so it was icy out there. And yeah, it's foot long.
And just one, right?
There's multiple. You
but
can
that
even
wasn't
see
obviously like a person walking in the area that you could track. I'm sure you guys tried to find more, and it didn't lead you anywhere.
No, we found more.
Yeah, but did you follow them? Like, where did they go?
To a swamp.
And then where?
We didn't go that far. Just a little weird structure
Where were
there.
they coming from then? How'd you come across them? Like, did they come like?
This guy was out hunting,
and
hunting, and he discovered them. So he took me back there, and I was investigating. And so, here's a twist break right here. You can tell it was twisted. Let's see, we're going into a swamp right here. You can see it's becoming swampy.
Yeah.
Here's another X. Little sticks. There's a better picture of the X, and then small sticks right there. Another one of small sticks. This one's a levitated X. Well, at least this piece right here is levitated. This one goes way out there. I don't know. There's a lot of unusual things in this area. I can take it to, I don't know about maybe one day, maybe. I know exactly where it is, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's tons of areas, It's, and if we're finding the same type of things in different areas, it kind of leans towards a few things, Universally, there's
twist. What are you going to say, sorry?
Well, if you find this in different areas, and it's manipulation, it can show both nature and also Bigfoot activity. And what I mean by that is of the design, in nature, it does if trees and stuff fall a similar way all the time, and they kind of do, and they're straight, we should be able to find all these stuff all over the place, and we do. And we do find common deadfall all over the place, and it looks very similar. We do find similar manipulation that we think is Sasquatch related in different places too, which would indicate that a lot of them are doing it. It's not just like one individual here and there, and there's all of the people across the world that find the same sort of thing. So there some must be a universal pattern to it, or
We got another X. Just there were so many weird structures in this area, and it could have been all been deadfall, but I just found it very interesting. They were finding footprints and structures, and they were pretty large structures too. I'm pretty sure there's a print somewhere here. Yeah, right there. 9 inches, 10 inches. Just right there. There's another one. It's hard to tell because there's so many leaves on the ground.
yeah.
But we
Again,
see 'em.
pictures don't do it justice.
Yeah, pictures don't do it
so hard to
justice, man.
capture the detail.
It just looks like I'm taking pictures of leaves. You can tell this one's matted down a little bit here. There's another break. Looks like something was laying down here. Could have been deer though. So this one's a bend going underneath stuff. Again, I don't know if I have a better picture. Maybe show it. Yeah, see, the bend is going underneath this branch right here, which also has another one intertwined to it. So that could have been manipulation too. And it was twisted, of course.
Yeah, the twisting, especially when you find ones like that was, where it's twisted kind of like that. And it's springtime, it's summertime, it's not snow load. There was no storm that just happened. And that's why you have to keep going out in areas, because if it's manipulation and it's going to happen, you want to be able to pinpoint, was this happening, during a storm? Did this happen after storm? Was this found during a period of no storms, so you can better determine if, it was storm damage or whatever. So, and those, if it was twisted and stuff, and look for hair, if they're manipulating their stuff and they're twisting it and they're breaking it and they're putting it into place, look for hair, especially if it's fresh manipulation, hair.
We got two bends going underneath of this. It looks like there's another one over there. And I don't know, there's a lot going on here, but I just thought that was interesting. There was two bends going underneath of this. I guess it could have fallen on all of them, but I don't know. Oh, that's another thing. This was also part of it. It was like intertwined into this bend.
Okay. Well, I gotta
go.
Get off the stream now. Yep.
Well, we got 5 minutes. Can you give me 5 minutes?
Actually,
it's less than 5 minutes. Give me 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. I might have to leave even earlier now. So.
Oh, are you getting summoned?
It's okay.
Yeah, I'll go through. I'm going through.
Just kind of wrap it up a little bit. I'm sorry, James. We'll continue this conversation next week or next time.
Yeah. Survival structure. Oh, that's a good print right there. You can tell.
Yeah, you can see there's definitely an impression there. What kind of details? It's kind of hard from my end to see it because it's not as big as everyone else's screen is going to be, but you can see a very distinct foot shape.
There's a distinct, like it was stepped there, yeah, and then it froze over, yeah. Let me see where I can find it again. I was getting rushed. Mm-hmm. Okay, that one right there. Yeah, it looked like there was some toes up here, and then it just had like a huge compression, basically. And then there was a few others in that swampy area we found. We didn't cover it though, so just weird breaks, and there was just so much stuff going on in that one area. And it's a hunting area, so it makes sense.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And when you do find tracks, just see if they go like into a swamp to a place where you can't go. Because you can't make it out there, especially if you're geared up and have boots and stuff. Maybe pretty sure it's possible, and a normal person at least wouldn't be out there doing that. So guys, we hope you enjoyed the show about a little bit about tree manipulation, tree structures, our opinions on it, some evidence, some signs to look for, some stuff to, if you're out there, to spot, to then further investigate it. Don't believe everything out there is Bigfoot. Really look at the details. You have to understand that is natural occurrences. There's 1 in a million shots. It can happen. But the more crazier it is, the more unlikely, things could be. And remember, look for hair. There's other factors in evidence, potential footprints and stuff of it. If because of manipulation, then that means that they're standing right there. So that means there's potential tracks, potential other things right there. So this is why we kind of dive into it. Maybe it's not Bigfoot. Maybe it's some other cryptid, but the same thing goes. The evidence of their physical appearance of standing right there, manipulation in the area, should be there. So take that to heart. If you guys are going out there, be honest, have integrity. Don't lie to yourself and make sure you have integrity when you're being honest about tree structure and stuff, because it's easy to fake it. It's easy to just say, well, it looks really cool, so I'm just gonna, say it is. Be honest about it. If you know it's not real, if you know it's nature related, it's not a tree structure. So, without further ado, guys, thanks for all the support. Thanks for everyone for watching. We appreciate it. We'll be back again with more. As always, see you guys again. Have fun.